Hey, did you know that going into Wednesday, the Toronto Maple Leafs had the third longest streak of not being shut out in the history of the NHL? 252 games. That's over after Wednesday's shutout win by the Habs. Sam Montembeault ending that streak with a brilliant 48-save performance. Which leads us to our popular segment, Beside Two Reporters. Who are we beside today? We're beside Toronto Maple Leafs reporter Mark Masters and Montreal Canadiens reporter Kenzie Lalonde. And Kenzie, we'll start with you. What a night for Sam Montembeault, 48-save shutout in front of a packed house at the Bell Centre. I guess we should just pencil Montembeault in as Canada's starting goaltender for the upcoming Four Nations face-off.
Look, I like that we're having these discussions because those were conversations being had in the locker room afterwards. Trying to play a consistent game this season for Montembeault will be a priority, of course, to help the Montreal Canadiens, but also for himself and gaining reputation here in the National Hockey League level. But this was a huge performance for him. He set a National Hockey League record, the most saves ever in a season opener shutout. And this was his first ever season opener start for the Canadiens, so it meant a lot to him personally. When we spoke with him after the game, he said, look, I was a little nervous coming out there. The pregame ceremony was great, but when he stepped onto the ice, he was all in the zone. And I think the highlight save for him tonight, Mark, I'm sure we could probably agree, the glove save, complete drop against Austin Matthews in the second period, just robbing him, and that'll be one he'll want to remember. So this is big for Montembeault. You look at this season for the Canadiens, they hopped his two goaltenders this time around, him and Primo, so he'll want to keep putting a game like this together to show that he is the number one goaltender here for the Montreal Canadiens.
And Mark, Anthony Stolarz starts in place of Joseph Woll, who's hurt. What sort of statement did Stolarz make in his Maple Leafs debut?
A big one, Jay. You know, he says he found out last night that he was going to get this start. He had a little extra jump in his step. It's his first ever season opening start, just like Montembeault, feeling a little extra energy. And he met the moment. He was excellent. Of course, the Leafs tilted the ice over the final 40 minutes, but with the way Montembeault was playing, he could not afford to make a mistake, and he was very sharp in this game. Austin Matthews said he was probably the Leafs' best player, and he played so well that head coach Craig Berube says they will now consider starting him again on Thursday in New Jersey. Stolarz is from New Jersey. He says he usually has around 50 family and friends in attendance when he plays there. The other option right now is Dennis Hildeby, who they called up on an emergency basis today, who's 23 years old and has never played in the NHL before. So right out of the gates, Jay, a pretty tricky decision here for Berube and the Leafs coaching staff.
Both teams back in action Thursday night. Leafs take on the Devils, as Mark alluded to. Montreal travels to Boston to take on the Bruins. You guys were terrific. This has been Beside Two Reporters.